So here we are at the site of the 2023 Senior Olympics in Illinois. That's where the registration is going to be, but I wanted to recon this road course because I've never been on it. I did the time trial and the gravel race last year, but I'm going to do the time trial and the road race this year. Only a 5K time trial and a 20K road race. The road race is a big loop, but there are a couple of hills on it, so I wanted to check them out. I don't think they're anything like my Southern Illinois hills. Just want to know what kind of effort I can put in. Let me see how far it is into it. I think it's like 4 miles into the ride or so. So that's it. I'm going to recon the course, then we'll come back and get registered. Registration's not even open yet, so we're still pretty early. Those old guys are there already. What's up with that? I know. Yeah, they start the race at 11, the time trial, and road race at 1, which is great because last year it was earlier and it was really cold. So it's actually going to be really nice, kind of warm today. But so they start a little later. I think from what I remember it being very cold last year. Beautiful scenery. Roads look nice.
Last name?
Spiders with a D. First name.
Henry?
Yes.
You're number 20. He's number 20. Your start time is 11:04. 11:04. This goes on your right ankle facing out. Okay?
TT? Yeah.
That machine you want. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's my college bike.
Say what?
That was my college. I used to do triathlons back when I was in college. That is a low budget build there. So I'm ready to start. Well, ready to get down to the start line. It's 10:40. Race time is 11. I start at 11:04. They kick athletes out on the time trial at 1 minute intervals, I believe. So the start's gonna be about 2 miles down the road, finish about a 1 mile down that way, and there's one valley along the way. And I've got really bad hill gears on this bike, so here's what it is. It's warm. This isn't what I was gonna wear on top, but it's warm. I was gonna wear a full sleeve, but here's what it is. All right, I'll see you out there somewhere. I may not smile, but I see you.
second place with a time of 8:07.62, Greg Bennett.
Fast this year. Third of three.
And in first place.
Great Scott!
This video of everybody. Don't know why you all pushed me to the front. Thanks a lot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody.
So for my data overlays, I use a program called Verb Edit. It's a Garmin program. Something about it was discontinued a couple years ago, so you always had to do this little hack to make it work. Well, something else changed in September of 2023, just last month, where you have to hack it even further to make it work. So it really doesn't work. You have to, I had to do a little magic to figure this out, to how to add the overlays and sync them up, because that's what you can't do anymore is the syncing process. Anyway, I think it turned out okay. What's some problems with it, you can see that map up in the top right hand corner. You see the start line. That is not the finish line. The finish line, if that's the face of a clock, it's down around the 7 or 8 o'clock position. I'll show it to you on the video so you can see where the dot is going to be at the finish line, which is the same as the 5K finish line. And later in the race, I'll add some red line that pop up once in a while so you have an idea where it is and so you know how close we're getting to the finish. The first couple of miles here are not real exciting. We just kind of take turns noodling along. Our speed varies from 19 to 23 or 24. There's no heroics, no one trying to make a breakaway. So here we are coming up on the finish line. You see that blue tent on the right side and the cones. So you'll see this again at the end of the video. So I'll go forward to the points where it starts to get a little spicy. Coming up here pretty soon, we start a big long downhill and things really start to pick up and get pretty fun in there. The camera points down because I get down into a tuck, so sorry about that. You're looking down at the ground more than you are looking forward. Did the best I can to capture the video without wrecking my race. But you'll see here in a minute things will really start to pick up a little bit as people anticipate the downhill, then it rounds the bend, and then there's an uphill segment, which I'll talk about when we get to it. So we're boogieing along here. You can see we got up to, I think, 42, my Strava said. We're still moving fast, and it's kind of strung out. And this isn't time to panic, though, because as downhill ends, we round the bend, and then there's an uphill segment, which that's kind of one of my strong suits is uphill. So I'm not too concerned. I can still see the leaders here, and we'll get bunched back up here in a second. So while I was gathering information for this race, I looked back at this segment from last year to see the times. And the KOM, his name is Greg, he's up here in the orange just in front of me. So he set the KOM last year. I think the second fastest time on this segment was also last year. He's in this race, in this group up here as well. I'm not sure which one he is. So I knew there were some fast guys in this group, and they're fast on this hill. So I was kind of marking the main guy, Greg, to see how he'd do on this, so I knew what I could do and what was reasonable. And I knew it was a mile and a half long because I drove it in the morning and I looked up the information, the profile. So I had a good idea of what this was like. And I wanted to put in a little bit of an effort. I put in like, I don't know, probably 85% effort on this first two sections here. Probably overall, that was about right, about 80% of what I could do on this hill if I was going for a KOM on it. And I was able to pass most of these guys fairly easily. I mean, I'm not saying it was easy, but it certainly wasn't my hardest effort. So that felt pretty good. It was good to know that my hill climbing skills were stronger than most of these people, and that I can use that later on the second big hill on this course. Now they catch back up to me. Don't be too impressed with me right now. So we'll see them further up this 6 or 7 part hill that's a mile and a half long. You may have noticed that the speedometer on the right, the lower right corner, it was acting a little wonky along this whole kind of northern stretch of this. Sometimes you get accurate data, sometimes it dropped down to 0 or 1. So I don't know, take it for what it's worth. You know, when moving along, there's sections where you can kind of tell we're cruising 25, 26, 27, and it'll say we're going 8. So you know that's not true. So yeah, there goes dropping down to 0. So just kind of ignore that when it drops out. Most of you bikers out there know how fast we're going just by looking at our effort level, our heart rate, our power, and then kind of what the terrain looks like as it's rolling by us. Now my wife came out to this race. That's her at the top of the hill here. She got a couple of videos and a video at the finish line, so I'll include those in this edit. So by the end of this uphill segment, we had a group of, I'm not sure, 12 people, 14 people. And we all started working together across this top section for the most part, trying to reel in those two. You can still see them in the distance. And we did well. We all worked together. We rotated nicely, and it just kept kind of the pressure on them and gradually reeled them in. And I'll show the catch in a little bit here, and then I'll fast forward some sections as we move along the north edge of the course here. And here's the catch. So the guy in blue here is the first one we caught. And the guy with the tri-spoke wheels, he's staying up in the front there, hanging around towards the front edge of this group. I thought he'd fall back and take a break. I think he does a little bit later though, catch his breath a little bit. It was a good breakaway. That group wasn't quite big enough, wasn't quite strong enough, it was just the two of them. So our pack reeled them in after just a couple of miles after cresting that hill. It was a good attempt though. Along some of these sections here, it looks like I'm out of the draft along the side of the group here, but the wind was out of the southeast, so I'm actually on the protected side. I'm catching a pretty good draft off of this fella just by sitting back here off this corner.
Oh!
So as we approach this corner here, I know we'll be going straight into the wind, which isn't a strong wind. It was like a 2 or 4 mile an hour wind. But I took a pull there at the end, just before the turn, and then I backed off a little bit and made sure someone came around me before the turn there. And this section here was a little funny. If you watch this whole video, I mean, we really just goes to and from it for a while, and then the guy in red here drops back. And poor guy in front doesn't know how to get off the front, and he gets all the way down to 19, 18, 17 miles an hour sometimes, trying to lose that front position with his nose out into the wind. And nobody wants to take that position, so we end up going really slow. So if you look at our overall average for the race, it was pretty slow. I think mostly because this section here ended up being really slow. Yeah, like I said, this guy was stuck in the front for almost that whole section there. And, you know, me personally, I would have gone 10 miles an hour until someone finally passed me. But he slowed down quite a bit, and I don't think he was working too hard. You can see my heart rate's coming down pretty nicely. And everyone knows that once we take this turn up here, which is coming up, we have 5K to go to the finish line. And there's one big hill in between there, and it's going to be nothing but fireworks. So everybody's kind of catching their breath and taking it easy. No one wants to do any work during this section. I think because we all know what's coming up around the bend. So overall, I'd say the real race for this event was that whole northern edge with that big long uphill segment, and then the rest of that line we were moving pretty fast up there. And then turn this, you're going to see we're going to start getting a little antsy, and you'll see some moves starting to happen. About a half mile up the road we start the downhill, then it goes uphill, and my plan was to smash that uphill and see what I could do on that, and if I can get away with a good group and drop some of these people, then that's where I wanted to make that move. Other people made the move a little earlier, and you know, in retrospect, I should have stuck with the leader in this section here, which isn't in front of me here. He'll come around, the guy with the tri-spokes. His name, both of those guys' names are Greg. They came, well, I won't spoil it, but we'll see how they come out at the end of this. But they're both strong riders. I should have stayed up there with right there with them through this ending section. So, in retrospect, I can see I should have done that. As you watch this video, you may think that same thing. But still, we were kind of not pushing real hard. I could tell Greg wanted to push the pace here. He came up and tried getting the speed up, and I took the lead, and I thought, I'm not ready yet. I was ready to make my move on the uphill. But you'll see once we get around this bend and start down the hill, that's when the fireworks start. And I'll just let this play out from this point forward. I won't give too much commentary and let you watch it all the way through to the end for this lesson. From this point, it's probably less than 3 miles to the finish line. So I'm here with Jeff.
Hey.
We just did the Illinois Senior Olympics 2023 time trial and the 20K road race. Warm day, little breezy.
Yep, it was nice.
It's his first time doing this, my second time, but I didn't do the road race before. Fun event, great people here. Still up in the air whether this is a qualifier for next year, or if they're not having next year, we'll have to recompete next year for 2025, is what I understand of it. Still looking to verify that. But good race. I ended up third overall in the road race. Got to watch the finishers ahead of me, and that was all I could do. That was a suffer fest that last 2 miles.
Did well though.
It's good. Jeff came up here and smashed. Did really well. This was the first year for him. On track to come up here and crush me next year, based off his improvements over the last few months, for sure. So we'll see how I placed in my age group. They're making an announcement over there, so maybe soon they'll tell us how we did. But no matter what, I got third in my age group because there are only 2 people ahead of me. Fun event, sufferfest. 12-mile road race is really hard. We went really hard for kind of mile 4 through 8, and then we rolled easy for a few miles, and then the last 2 miles really smashed. That's when, for me, the real race took off. If you were with that lead group, they smashed after that. I don't know how it was. You were a little further back. Did you have someone to ride with back there?
Yeah, Wayne.
Okay.
Yep, he and I traded off for a while, but we were in no man's land for a while.
That's good. As long as you have someone to ride with.
Yep.
I don't care where you're at in the pack. Like, if you got someone to ride with, it makes it much better. Dirty South was like that. It kept on doubling up with people, tripling up with people.
Yep.
Always finding someone
Makes
to
a
pair
big
up with.
difference.
Yeah, and if they don't want to ride along and play, just move along is what I would do, right? So fun. We'll see how I placed. I'll post some pictures at the end, and a good event. I look forward to come back next year. You gonna be here next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be a year older, maybe a
little bit better.
maybe a little more gray in the beard, and hopefully a little better.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like I did with the time trial, I'm going to read them in the order they are on the paper. No, I'm not playing any favorites here. It's just the order they are on the paper. So, starting with the male 50 to 54 age group, and this is the Illinois Senior Olympics 20K cycling road race. Gold with a time of 34:18.86 goes to Greg Bennett. We got Greg from Missouri, so we got an Illinois gold as well.
The other Greg deserves the win. He's the very fast runner.
He's in a different age.
He is. He's in a different age group. All right. Our gold from Illinois is going to go to Henry Dieters at a time of 34:20.13. Congratulations. That means a silver from Illinois goes to Terrence Gilbert, time of 34:44.71.
Yeah.
All right. The females 50 to 50.
Great Scott!